Howdy everybody, time for a little update video on the bus. So we have been making some major progress. Let's see here, we'll start with the what have we done list. We'll do a little walkthrough. So you guys saw the video where I fixed the AC unit. That's up and cruising. I had to patch a hole in the top of the water holding tank, or crack. I did that with a mechanical big aluminum plate with a bunch of sealer under it. You can see we've got new flooring in here, not flooring, subfloor, and curtains are rehung. They're a little wrinkled because I had them thrown in a pile in my shop after we washed them, but they'll hang out. Anyways, I had the refrigerator out, rebuilt that platform. Man, it's just such a list. It starts all blurring together. But anyways, my wife has been scrubbing, cleaning. The bus is looking really good. Like, we're happy. We're about to be off and cruising. We're going camping next weekend. So anyway, kids leaving trash on the newly cleaned dash. So anyways, you can see I've got her tore apart up here in the front right now. So that's what I was getting ready to show you guys. So I had a couple things that I need to do. I needed to drain the radiator down because the auxiliary pump in the back for coolant circulation is stuck. And I got to pull it apart and look at it. And then I was fighting belt squeal all the way back from Georgia. And I stopped and tightened belts up, but they're already loose again. What's going on is they're old and hard and basically glazed, and they're slipping and cooking themselves. So anyways, I have succeeded in getting numbers off all these belts. And today's Sunday, so nobody's open that's got these, but I'm going to get out there tomorrow and hunt up some good Gates green line belts and get those replaced. But while I'm at it, we're just going over some stuff, and I have found a few things. Like, for instance, this is the throttle pedal, and you can see it's been glued once before. I'm assuming Frank had to patch it, but anyway, the rubber has just given up. This is one of those kind that just pops on a ball on the end of the rod. And it was just about to leave the party. Like, once that breaks loose, that rod flips around, can get out of alignment because, you know, it can kick around, and you would be a miserable ride from there. So anyways, the good news is this thing's got a part number on it, and it's a Ford part number. So I Googled it and find out that this is a throttle pedal that fits 57 to 60 Ford pickup trucks. So I cruised through eBay, found me a aftermarket replacement one for 20 bucks. So that'll be here Wednesday. So that's on its way. And then we got other stuff we're dealing with. I had one of these stupid thread certs that spun out in the bolt. You know, you can see it's just the whole thing spinning. I drilled the head out to get it off, and I'm getting ready to finish drilling that out. I have the tool for installing these. Just in case you guys ever get in the mood and feel like you need to fight with some of these on yours. This is the gizmo that puts them in. You can see these are the inserts. So anyhow, I've got one of them, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that one. And then I was unimpressed with, you know, some of these are original and stripped out. Some of them been replaced with stainless. But anyways, I got on the internet, and I trust all of you are familiar with McMaster Car, but if you're not, you should check it out. And Tuesday morning, there will be enough all stainless hardware to replace every one of them in the front of this thing, because I am not putting those crusty, mangled old creatures back in. So anyways, so while we're up here, we've just generally been cleaning, and, you know, like, it's amazing how after 45 years, like, these screws were rattled loose. That one was stripped out. I keep noticing that everywhere I go, there's loose screws, and it's just, they've shook and rattled and heat and cooled over the years. So just generally going over it, looking for trouble, and preemptively attacking stuff. So anyways, but the bus is getting dumb close to ready to rock and roll. I don't think there's a whole lot else to tell you guys other than probably pretty quick about one of the next videos you're going to see is going to be us camping with this thing. So, oh, I know what the other thing I did. So I did get the generator charging. I don't remember if I shot video of that. So this is an Kohler 12.5 kilowatt Perkins diesel generator, and it wasn't charging. And what I ended up figuring out, it's a two-stage charging system where they run two resistors in parallel for high charge mode, and then once it senses voltage come, it's got this voltage sensing relay that drops one of the resistors out of the circuit thereby increasing resistance in the circuit and drops it down to low power. Well, and then there's a second relay that's a reverse current relay so that it won't drain the battery when it's not running. That reverse current relay was junk, so it wasn't pulling in, and then the high charge resistor is bad. So what I've got right now is I've replaced the relay. It's functioning, but it's only functioning on low charge mode. So what that means is you're going to get, I don't know, it's probably only like 2 amp charge rate. Hey, look at this. See what I'm talking about? I'm just carrying around a screwdriver in my pocket. There's another one that's, yeah, see, that one's a little stripped. That's going to need some more attention. Might have to put a thread cert in there. But anyways, so right now it's good enough as long as you run it a while. You just don't want to be starting and stopping it a lot because it doesn't have its high amp charge rate. But I think before the week is out, I'll have tracked down the bad resistor and got that replaced, so we'll be back on high rate. But honestly, if we went camping with it that way, I'd be okay with that because at least it's not discharging the battery. So anyways, the swing away radiator setup though, that's what I was going to comment on. That is slick. I am very impressed with that. Worked good. I did something, by the way, that Frank had told me he did before that is a fantastic idea, and just took some 1/2-inch studs and you take out 2 of the bolts, crank the studs in, take out the other 2 bolts, and then the bumper is just hanging there and you can lift it off, set it off to the side, and then when you go to put it back on, just slide it onto them studs. And I am sure he's right that that is a lot more fun than wrestling with that, trying to line it up while you get bolts in. So anyhow, I think that's about it, guys. Hopefully we'll be on the road with this thing shortly.
Keep.
So this is a thread cert tool. Bring them over here. Well, those will show them. What's interesting, this thread cert needs a little bit bigger hole than the ones that wanderlodge use.
Why do you keep turning that?
Just tightening the thread cert tool up. See? There she is. One new thread cert. All ready to rock and roll. And I got time for another wanderlodge rant. So I love wanderlodge. I think they're fantastic bus, and I think they have some of the worst waterproofing I've ever seen. Like, just, this is absurd. So check this out. This is the passenger side vent. When you look into this compartment, you are staring like basically straight into the bowels of this bus. This is the steel floor that your subfloor is screwed to. Like, if you look up underneath here, you see up in there, that's the beginning of the wooden subfloor that you're looking at. So when you're cruising down the road, this thing at one time had some kind of a rinky rubber gasket on it that I can guarantee you does not seal. There's no way you're getting enough pressure on it with a little cable to actually seal that up. So closed or open, it doesn't matter. When you're cruising down the road with this thing and you run into a rainstorm, I guarantee you there is water pouring in here and just generally flooding the inside of the front of this bus. I mean, it's no wonder the subfloor was all rotted out up in this corner. Like, I knew something was going on when we took it apart, found wet wood, rotten wood, but this is just inexcusable. It is a massive water entrance point with no accommodation for the water to get back out at all. I mean, closest you could say is if they had run a good trough here, it might run back out right here. But they didn't. That's the crazy part. So what I have to decide, that's what I'm debating right now, is either axing this thing, but I'm thinking about doing a little sheet metal work, or at very least cleaning this all up and creating a dam, right? Like, it's got this in the road, basically caulk this all up around here and create a pool spot where it can pool up and run out and get back out down through this, because that reaches past the edge of the gasket and it could get down out the bottom. But just I mean, these whole windows or doors, they had some kind of foam rubber stuff on them that once upon a time probably sealed. But I'm just telling you, anybody out there that's got an FC style machine, you better be taking a look at these panels if you haven't ever had them open, because I can about guarantee you it's a water entrance point. If it ain't leaking just sitting still, it definitely is if you ever drive in the rain, because these kind of vehicles with their big blunt front create a huge high pressure zone on the back. And then what they tend to do, I know this from driving a box truck, is because they're square back, square front, they pull a big vacuum on the back, pressure on the front. So what tends to happen is you end up with a big negative air pressure on the inside of the bus. And so they tend to actually, like, it's not just that it kind of works its way in. You're pressurizing the front and sucking on it from the backside. They will pull water in everywhere there's something like this going on. So I'm about betting you, any of you that take a drive in a rainstorm are going to find water pooling up behind all this if you bothered to take a look. So anyways, I'm going to be sealing this up better. I'm going to get new foam rubber for this. I don't love it. I'd like to caulk it, but the problem is then you can't get the sucker open without a major fight down the road. So I'm going to resist the urge to caulk it. And at this point, I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to try and clean this up and create like using some quad. I'm going to create a dam that comes all the way across here and around here and basically trap the water that trickles in around this here so that it has to find its way back out at the bottom is the theory. But anyhow, but this, I just got to say, looking at that, that is absolute bullcrap. I'm very disappointed in Bluebird's engineering on that. Like, that is an abysmal excuse for a ventilation system when there's just no accommodation to keep water out, and then no way of dealing with the water once it gets in there, other than that you drive long enough water gets in, it's running back under your floor and rotting stuff out. So anyhow, good spot to be checking out on your buses for anybody that's got an FC series. All right, so this is the circulating pump that goes in the coolant line to the back end of the bus, circulates coolant through the water heater and the rear heater system. Anyways, it was seized up. I tore it apart, as you can see. Pump wouldn't turn. What I discovered when I got in here is I got a little pinhole in here. I guess that's a weep hole. It's facing down. But anyway, it got some moisture in it, and it had rusted. Here it is, laying here. Rusted this little clip that retains the magnets, and 2 of the ears had broke off. So the magnets had come loose in there and were stuck to the armature. So I screwed around and made myself a new little tab to hold them in. Got it fired up and running, and it went up in smoke about 30 seconds later. So we got a new one coming. If anybody needs to buy this stuff, we ended up getting our water heater and this thing from Hodges Marine. They had the best prices. So this is on hold till I get a new one on Wednesday.